Hello and welcome to another video brought to you by the good people at FM20 Today we are reviewing Season 4 for the Wolverhampton Wonderkids. Now, thank you very much for watching. For starters, do not forget to like the video if you appreciate what we do here. Subscribe if you are new. Click that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. We've got Wonderkids videos every Monday, this series every Wednesday, Man United Let's Play every Friday. So just get that out of the way. Consider following us on Patreon as well. You can download all the tactics that we use in this save, as well as the Man United save and all the shortlists that we use on Monday videos as well. Okay, so with that out of the way, here is Season 4 for the Wolverhampton Wonderkids. Now, we all know what happened in Season 3. It was an absolute beast. We won the league. The team is going onwards and upwards. So we'll start off with the finances, which are boring. They go up, and then they go down, and they go up, and then they go down. Blah, blah, blah. We spend all the transfer money that we get, and then we win some prize money and get TV money in, and then we spend all the money, and then the wages go up, etc., etc. Who cares? But what we do want to look at is our transfers. So what transfers have we made in Season 4? Let's have a look. Transfer history. So let's go with the outs first. So who has gone? Who has left the club? So Andreas Snodegaard has left the club. Our goalkeeper, gone. 925 quid. We just asked the director of football to get rid of him because he wasn't needed by us anymore. Willy Bolly left. He wasn't getting games, so we replaced him. It's pretty decent though. He's tall. Free transfer. Terry Taylor goes out on loan. He's our young centre-back. Pretty decent. Probably not going to ever step into the first team though, unfortunately for him. This guy went out on loan. Not even sure who he is. Windal, we sold. Eventually, we sold him. Just wasn't. We weren't seeing enough progression in his attributes, but he's pretty solid-ish. I mean, he wasn't really playing though for us, so we had to get rid of him. Does come back to bite us though. Stay tuned for that. Traore, eventually we sold him. Should have sold him for more money, but there it is. He's fast. We sold him for 15, rising to 19. Could have got more out of that, as well as Raul Jimenez. We could have got more out of that deal as well, but the contracts I think ran down a little bit. So we shifted them out because obviously, as we know, we're focusing on our Wonderkids. Santos went out on loan, Oliveira went out on loan, and Reina, again, we failed to get the work permit for him. That proves to be very, very difficult ongoing. So, watch this space. Okay. Ins then. So, ins. Jose Diaz came in. Portuguese player, 17 years old. As we know, the board are tightening their grip now on the Portuguese players. If you watched the last episodes, we noticed that we weren't getting sanctioned by the board about the Portuguese thing, but this season they really clamped down. So we had to find some Portuguese youngsters. And we did. This guy's going to be pretty decent, Jose Diaz. Okay, so centre-back, he's only 17. And we only spent 4.8 million on him. So we had to do that. We had to get some Portuguese players in to please the board. Bang. Then we signed this regen, Daniel Hoy. He's going to be one of the best English centre-backs in the game. So look at his stats. Tackling, marking, heading already. He's only 19. Positioning, bravery, jumping, fitness, strength as well. And he's fast-ish as well, 14. So he's a wonder kid, look. So we're sticking to our principles. Chelsea was surprised Chelsea let him go, but they did. So we picked him up, £26 million. Andre Lieto then, we had to balance that out with, guess what? Another young Portuguese guy, 17 years old, left-footed, a little bit promising, good at crossing, good at determination, agile, but not really someone who we really wanted. We just needed to buy some Portuguese players. Because what would happen is we go to sign someone, the board would say, well, you haven't signed enough Portuguese players yet, in line with our vision. So that's what we had to do. Next up, we signed this young guy, left back, takes the position of Windal, who we spoke about. Not quite there yet, but you can see, what's the media description? El Wonderkid. Tackling, marking, first touch already there. Teamwork, decisions, bravery already there. Physically good as well. So he's our German left back, which we purchased. Next up, Fabio Lopez. Guess what? Portuguese youngster. Had to do it. We're not able to sign people until we brought these guys in. 21 years old. What did we spend on him? 73 grand. I think we found the cheapest one we could. As well as this guy we bought from Cardiff Met. He's actually Welsh, but he was born in Portugal. That's how desperate we were getting. So we sent him out on loan straight away. Freitas as well. Another Portuguese guy we had to get him. We were signing these guys like, oh, how many Portuguese players do we need to sign before we can get? I think it was Daniel Hoy, what's his name? We were trying to get Daniel Hoy. How many Portuguese players do we need to sign until the board let us sign him? And eventually we got him. Oliveira as well, another Portuguese player, 19 years old, valued at 2.9. We had to spend 5 million on him. The list goes on. So then January comes, and we want to sign a goalkeeper. Oh yeah, we need a goalkeeper. No, the board was now in it. So we had to sign another Portuguese player. Goalkeeper, okay, he could be good, but he's not going to be in our first team. Then the board let us sign a goalkeeper that we actually wanted. It wasn't our first choice, but Dewhurst does become good. Check out our Wonderkids videos. He is on 1 or 2 of them, only 22. So those are the ins. Really pleased with Daniel Hoy. Really pleased with our left back as well. Those are the 2 main additions, really. The big outs were obviously Traore, Jimenez, Rayner on loan, and Windal. Okay, so let's next up go to our schedule. So how did we perform in pre-season? Well, we performed very, very good. Smashed every single team apart from Liverpool when it comes to the Community Shield. So we smashed Roma 2-0. And that was the Matt Doherty testimonial, actually. I think Matt Doherty stays in the team for this season. We get rid of him at the end of the season. Spoilers. And then that form continues into the Premier League. So we beat Chelsea 2-1, Tottenham 1-0 away, Brighton 3-1 away, Norwich 3-0, Man City 4-1 at home. Some great results. Swindon in the Carabao Cup, and then we draw to Newcastle. Now we know historically once we hit a stumbling block, it kind of affects us a little bit, and that is the case here as well. Although we did go and win at Old Trafford, we drew at Celtic in the Champions League. So that was a 2-2. So we're playing there with 2 box-to-box. Vinny Jr. on the left. Haaland, Dembele. Vinny Jr., as we know, replaces Jota in many ways. Johnny then came into left back because we didn't trust our new guy on the left. Onguini and Van Hazen stay in the middle. Doherty/Johnny on the right, but mainly Doherty. Neves, Tonali, Cousins. This is a first team. That is our first team essentially. So we drew 2-1. Drew 2-1? Drew 2-2 2-2 there with Celtic. Atletico Madrid, we smashed them 3-1. The team there, again, Haaland, Vinny and Dembele. Again, Cousins and Tonali, Neves. This time our youngster steps in at left back and Johnny comes to right back. 5-1 at West Brom. 4-0 at Watford. This is where we're thinking, God, we're going to win the league here. Carabao Cup win, and then we lose away at Arsenal. Always lose away at Arsenal. Vinny Jr. scores 2, but bang, Lacazette, some guy called Legoland, and Bruno himself scores. Junior has a rating of 9. We have 3 clear-cut chances away at Arsenal. 20 shots. And they have no clear-cut chances, but we come out and we lose 3-2. So that's disappointing, but we do go after that to Rosenborg and win 5-0. Again, Vinny Jr., Haaland, Dembele up front. 2 inside forwards, 2 box-to-box. Deep lying playmaker. Very similar team. Patricio's still there as well. But then we lose 2-0 to Leeds. 2-0 away to Leeds in the Premier League. Same team again, but Gibbs White comes in on the left of the centre midfield partnership there. Disappointing, but then we go back on a run. Celtic 5-2 in the Champions League. Tonali scores 2. Gibbs White scores from that same position. 5-2. And then we got another one, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 5-1 in a friendly. What's going on here? My assistant must have arranged these friendlies for some reason. Must be in the winter break. But Haaland scores a hat-trick in the friendly. So like we spoke about, a lot of these games are assistant-led because we want to delegate the team out. We want to build it up. We want to delegate it out to our assistant and come back during the transfer window, sign players and go. So we ran the team up until, I think, around here. And then we went on holiday. And then we usually come back around Christmas time. And then we go on holiday again till my birthday, which is April 24th. So, January went well. A couple of losses there. Liverpool, though, they are our arch enemies. They are our arch enemies. Are our arch enemies. So we lose 1-0. We lose 1-0 to Liverpool. Oh, and this was a doozy. Jurgen Klopp, because consider it's January, okay? So it's January here, and Jurgen Klopp comes in the day before our game and makes an offer for Erling Haaland. Comes in the day before the game, makes like a 50 million offer for Erling Haaland, and I turn it down, and then he becomes unsettled and has a bad game. 6.7 for us is a bad game for Haaland. And we're like, Klopp, what an absolute, what a move from Klopp that was. And they win 1-0 after making a cheeky bid on the 2nd of January, and we play them on the 3rd. And that comes back to bite us. Keep watching, because that comes back to bite us. So we lose 1-0 to Aston Villa then again, which we should have won. We have 2 wins against Man City, one in the neutral ground in Wembley, and one 5-1 smashing in the FA Cup, where Vinny Jr. scores 1, 2, a penalty, and 3, and Haaland scores 1 as well. Jota comes on and plays on the right. This is what I would, when I was managing the team rather than the assistant, I would always play Jota on the right wing, just to give him games, and Vinny Jr. on the left, because Jota, by the time January came, was very unhappy because he wasn't playing because Vinny Jr. had taken his spot. So I came in and managed the team, I think, during January, and played Jota on the right almost every game. Oh, actually, no, I think he got injured. But I tried playing him because he was upset. But his training rating was poor as well. That's what it was. It was the lack of form, and the lack of work rate in training. Anyway, so that happens. Bang! January is a bit of a mess because we have to sign Portuguese players, but we end up getting our goalkeeper. And then we get into the nuts and bolts of the season. We lose the first leg of the Champions League. And then we drew 2-2 in the second leg. If I remember this game rightly, no, I don't remember it rightly. They deserved to win that game, which is fine. We're knocked out of the Champions League. It's our first season in the Champions League, if I remember rightly. First season or second season of the Champions League. We get knocked out. Fine, we can take that. Smash Leicester 5-0 in the FA Cup. So we got a good cup run going. We lose the Carabao Cup final, though, to Man United 3-0. So have a look at the stats. We kind of deserve to lose that a little bit. Haaland had a poor game. So what we discovered here is, and we address this in I think it's in 2 seasons' time. It's a bit late, of course, but we do address this. The problem we have is if our front 3 don't perform, or basically if Haaland or Vinny don't perform, we generally don't win. So that was unfortunate. We lose the Carabao Cup final, but who cares about the Carabao Cup? Comment if you actually care about that down below. Okay, so Villa we lose, and then FA Cup semi-final we lose to Liverpool, our arch rivals. But it's a hell of a game. 4-3. Mane scores. We score first. Then Mane scores. Then Fabinho scores a pen. Then Catrone scores a second goal. Then Haaland scores. And then they score 2. Ronaldo and then Fernandes. Sucker punch. But again, end to end, they deserve to win. We can't have any complaints about that. I think Haaland was injured for that game. So, Bournemouth then, bang, 4-2. Arsenal, we beat Norwich, and we smashed Brighton 8-0. It's at this point that the title race becomes very tight as well. We're up there for a shout in the title. Jota scores 2, Haaland scores 2, Van Ezen scores a header, Tonali scores 2, and some guy plays left back. The assistant must be managing this game because I've never seen that guy before. Some guy plays left back and scores. Okay, so 8-0, smashed it. Liverpool 0-0. This was a crunch game. 2-1, 1-0. 2-1, sorry, in clear-cut chances. Oh, it was tough to take that. Neves, De Hoy there, Van Hazen. De Hoy steps in. David Hoy, sorry, steps in to play more games here. Dembele, we put in as a makeshift left back, who we do train up in that position. Gets a bit better than that if you look at his attributes. Not too bad. Neves, Gibbs, White, Tonali, Haaland, Jota on the right there, like we mentioned. But we couldn't win it. But we finish up the season well. We win, and then we win with Man City as well. 1 from Vinny. Everyone plays well. But look at this. This is what it does to the league. Second. So second is good. But if we think back to that game against Liverpool, where Klopp makes a bid for Erling Haaland a day before we play him and we lose 1-0. If we didn't lose that game, if we didn't concede that one goal, that game goes down as a draw, which means you minus 2 points from Liverpool because they only get 1. So they go down to 86 and you plus 1 onto us, so we'd go up to 87. So we're a 1 goal away from winning the league. 1 goal. And you could pick up any match out of the schedule there and say we're 1 goal away, because if we win 1 more game, we have an extra 2 points. No, actually, if we win 1 more game, it'd be goal difference. Look at that, as close as our goal difference, 56 and 58. So what we learnt there is Jurgen Klopp is our enemy. Do not trust him. He makes offers for players 2 days before the game, and then he wins the league by 2 points. We're not happy about that. But we are happy about Erling Haaland comes first, top goal scorer again. Ruben Neves has the most assists, and that's from a deep lying playmaker role, which is insane, but he does take corners. If you look down here, appearances in the Premier League, 32, 2 goals, 19 assists from that deep lying playmaking role is insane. We'll look at the stats then. We like to look at the player details. Bang. Erling Haaland scored the most goals. Erling Haaland had the average minutes per goal. Erling Haaland had the most shots, and Erling Haaland had the most shots on target. Erling Haaland also won Player of the Year. He won the Ballon d'Or. Now, I'm not quite sure how to get to the Ballon d'Or screen, but let's have a little look here. No, I'm not going to spend time looking at it. Footballer of the Year. Maybe I'll have a little look. Footballer of the Year. No, it doesn't come up when I haven't spelled it right for starters. World Footballer of the Year. Bang, there he is. Erling Haaland. Smashes it in front of Mo Salah and Mbappe in 2022. So well done, Erling Haaland. Absolutely fantastic buy for us. You can see the company he's keeping. Mbappe the year before, then Messi 3 times, then Ronaldo twice. Okay, so this is the kind of praise he deserves. Footballer of the Year. Well done, Erling Haaland. He played 49 and he scored 46. 7 assists. Gives him a pointage of 518. Well done, Erling Haaland. So we'll have a little look at the squad now. Go through some of the players that like we spoke about. So we'll start off with Dewhurst. We'll go on the attributes. We spoke about him. We signed him. Next up, Jota didn't play many games. If you look at the appearances down here, my assistant just didn't play him in any of the games, competitive games. He played 10, but that was me basically coming in January, managing the team, making transfers. Doherty, right back, played quite a lot of right back, but he's had his testimonial and we look at moving him on pretty soon. Duro is our left back, which we spoke about earlier, Wonderkid. Gelhardt did absolutely fantastic this season, steps up again next season, does really well. Gibbs White we love, but is he good enough? We're questioning that. Erling Haaland, speak about him too much. He just gets too much screen time. This is our new guy, centre back. He's going to be great. 6'5". Johnny, right back, fantastic. Still only 29. Neves, deep line playmaker. Words can't describe how good Neves is. And Greeny, that's all I'm going to say about him. Patricio, getting a bit over the hill, 35, but still performing. That's why we brought Dewhurst in to eventually replace him. Jack Scott, young guy, right back, fills a hole if everyone's injured, but not got a long-term future at the club. Tonali, we love at centre midfield. We all know about him. Van Haysden hasn't really reached the heights yet, which we thought he was going to, which is unfortunate for him. He's probably not going to nail down that first team place, which we imagined he would. Veloso has been a surprise one for us. Really developed well. We only brought him in because he was Portuguese and highly rated, and that's what our board want. But he is probably going to be in the team before too long. 19 years old, and look at those stats there. Look at that graph. Vinny Jr., we've seen how well he's played this season, scored a lot of goals. 55 games, 25 goals from the wing. Balcombe we signed as well. I think we signed him last season. He's going to be a backup goalkeeper, I think. But maybe he'll fight Dewhurst for the first spot when Patricio goes. Bellingham as well. Last year we signed him. He steps in for a few games this season. That was me coming in January trying to make sure he gets games. So he played for me there. Connor Cody. We like Connor Cody a lot, but because he's not getting older and he's not a wonder kid, he's going to go, unfortunately. Cuisance, we do like him. The assistant didn't like him though. He played 20 times in the league. We like Cuisance. He's our first choice left-sided box-to-box midfielder. If that makes any sense at all. Catrone, we like, but obviously because of Erling Haaland being in the team, in the squad, he doesn't get enough games. So that's unfortunate. But he's good. Maybe we'll look at getting him out on loan. Dembele is developing nicely, and there we go back to Dewhurst. Okay, so that's the squad. Tactics then. Don't forget, head on over to Patreon if you want to support the channel. You can download all of our tactics over there. This is the beast which we were using this season, apart from there was one change. Let me just... This was generally a box-to-box for the majority of the time. Support. Okay, we have experimented with changing that to Mazzella and this to Mazzella, which works if we're favourites and if we got Cuisance because he's left-footed. You do want a left-footed and you do want a right-footed there, but generally we would have this as a Mazzella and this as a box-to-box, although the majority of the season we did play both as box-to-box. To walk you through each player then, we haven't really got any individual instructions on, apart from Neves by the look of it. Let me just have a look here. I think we've got Neves on more direct passing, but it conflicts with his duty, but we know he's a good passer of the ball. And that's the only one we got. We do develop this tactic going into next season, and then we swift flip tactics as well going forward, just to negate that weakness which we said we had up front in terms of if they don't all perform, or if one of them doesn't perform, or two of them don't perform, we don't win. We do something about that. But that's our season 3 tactic there. Like I said, you can load them all up if you're a patron. Patron sounds like a bad guy in a Marvel film. Okay, so team report then. according to our new assistant manager, Patrick Kluivert. We're going to the staff in a second. Haaland up front, we have Patron as a backup. Vinny Jr. with Diego as a backup. Jota, Dembele and Gerhardt on the right. But like I said, sometimes I would play Jota on that wing to go to games. Tonali and Cousins essentially in the mid, with Bellingham and Gibbs-White as the backups in those positions. Neves then or Tonali there with the extreme backup of Conor Cody, who never really played there. Johnny then played the majority of games on the left back with Dewhurst coming in for half of them, or the ones where we needed him. Doherty then essentially as a right back. Ongrini and Hazen were the centre-back partnerships for my assistant, but for me, I put Hoy straight in there. And Patricio within two new guys there at centre-back. Moving on to the staff then. Our new assistant manager, Kluivert. So we've upgraded. We wanted someone with a bit of pedigree. He's got some potential. I mean, he can motivate, manage, determined, and we just like his name. So he did quite well when we were on holiday, to be fair, so Kluivert, it's very good. We also invested in a new head of youth development. Look at these stats this guy's got. Judging ability, potential, staff ability, motivating, determination, and working with youngsters. So like we say, because we want to do a lot of delegating in this series, we want to go on holiday for long periods of the time, because we've got to look after our daughter. Go all the way back to episode 1, it's all there. We need a strong backroom staff because we need to be able to rely on them to do their jobs while we're not here. We can come in January or towards the end of the season, play the good games, the important ones, the cup finals, and make some transfers essentially. Eventually, we'll just be signing 16, 15, 16, 17-year-olds and selling 30-year-olds. So we've just got that conveyor belt of players. The recruitment team then, we got a shiny new director of football as well, with some very good stats there. Ingletar, who we can delegate jobs out to. So if we look at our 23s then, under 23s, so if we talk about development, this is what we're talking about, under 23. So our under 23 squad is looking chock-a-block. Some of the standout people here for us, obviously Rayner, who's out on loan, Chad Banks, centre midfielder, a young guy, English. He's going to come to the fore. Nick Smith, Wonderkid, right midfielder. Unfortunately, he's right-footed and he's a winger, so that doesn't really fit into the way we play. But he will force his way into the team, no doubt about that. Jose Diaz, one of the Portuguese guys we signed, spoke about those, Terry Taylor as well, out on loan. If we look at our staff then, under 23 staff, João Tralhao has been doing a good job this season for the 23s. They actually finished second in the league, which is very, very good. So we've got to make sure we give him the support that he needs. We've got him a new assistant as well, Jesus Perez, who is by all accounts doing a great job for him. And our under 18s then, our manager for our under 18s, we signed this guy, Liska. Working with youngsters 20, that was the important one for us, management motivation as well. So that's it, that's our development centre. Let's have a look at our inbox. Bang. So this is our season in review. Wolves are expected to qualify for the Europa Cup, but exceeded pre-season hopes by securing Champions Cup qualification. Wolves finished where many had expected them to, spending time at the top of the table and deviating little from a course that helped them achieve what they had set out to at the start of the campaign. I don't agree with that. We finished second in the league. That's very good. We were one stupid goal against Liverpool away from winning the goddamn thing. Okay, so we were knocked out first round, Borussia Dortmund, runners-up in the English Premier League. Lost the semi-final against Liverpool. We lost the final against United. So it's a story of loss, really, this season, which is unfortunate. But we were title contenders. We gave a valiant effort in defending our title, but unfortunately, our arch rivals came and stole it from us. Club vision then going into next season, of course, sign Portuguese players. Why? Try and negotiate that, and guess what happens? They accept it. That is an absolute shock horror. Wow. The board have accepted that we're not going to sign Portuguese players. Roll on season 5. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Do not forget to like the video, subscribe if you are new, head on over to Patreon if you want to support the channel, download our tactics, download our shortlists. See you next time.